yeah, tell you, when you hop on, let's see who you are. Yep, you are starting to hop on. Okay. We didn't have anything else to do, so we just thought we'd talk to y'all. So it's, do you see it? You see the group?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I do.
We just have a lot of cold, or can you, let me tilt you down a little bit. It seems like it's kind of, sorry y'all, I thought I had it set, but now it's too much. Hope we're not too early. All right, so it's nothing but a bunch of cold dreariness. We've been in this house. Oh, there's there's not anybody here. Cash, come here.
Get over here, you knucklehead.
Let me see how many people's on. That's you. Now you aren't joining yet. Let's wait a couple of minutes. What's the sack clock purchase?
7 now.
Okay. Hello, y'all.
Right.
Yep, that's it. We don't have anything going on around here except a bunch of rain and ice, and we've been in the house now. This is our 3rd day.
Well, 2. I mean, I worked Monday.
From here. No, you did go out, didn't you?
Yeah, I worked half a day, or at least 3/4.
So we've just been cooking and eating, and the kids actually came over and stayed with us. And Chris took her to work, but Christopher, and Caleb, they've all been off work because when this happens in Texas, it shuts down. The whole state shuts down. But Kennedy works at the hospital, so she has to go to work. So I know somebody just made a comment.
Yeah, it's Blessed Life with Laura says hello, and Matt says good evening.
Oh, hi, Matt. Both of them have been winners of ours in the past.
Really?
Yep. So I think Laura's from Oklahoma and Matt's from Virginia, I believe. He's from the guy that does the oil in his hand. For the Gabbard Church. Yeah. So, or Brent's. So anyway, y'all, I'm glad y'all are here. But we thought we'd come up with something the other night that we thought would be fun to do. Tell them.
What was it? We were just driving around thinking, or actually, I think I started the conversation with her and told her that I think I'd heard something on the radio or YouTube or whatever. It's talking about how people, like how we're so different now than we were whenever we were younger.
Our generation especially.
How one guy said that they had a car, I forgot what year it was. He said if the door slammed on you, it would kill you. It was so heavy. It was heavier than most cars now. And he said his mom would take him to work, take his dad to work, and then would pick him up. That way she could have the car, and she would he said if the car they had seat belts, nobody wore them.
Oh yeah, we used to ride in the back of the window.
And he said that only thing that was going to save him was his mom. Whenever she would hit the brakes, she would always put her hand out like this, like that was going to hold him going 70 miles an hour or whatever. But he said his dad made a statement one time. He's laughing about how stupid it was. He said, I don't want to wear a seatbelt, son, because if something happens, I want to be thrown clear of the car. So we got to laughing about how we grew up and how it's a miracle that we survived.
There's such a gap between our parents, and we're pushing 50. I think we're I'll be 49 tomorrow, and he'll be 49 later on in the year. But our parents, and then us, and then our kids, our kids, they don't even remember anything without technology. And man, back in the day when we used to growing up, we really didn't have any technology in our house. But we'd go to the grocery store, those games you'd put a quarter in. What's this telling me? Yeah, keep talking.
Yeah, I mean, there was no like home PlayStation and stuff like that. It was like you were lucky if you went to the grocery store and you could walk over. Your parents would let you walk over and look at the games like Pac-Man,
Galaxy,
and Joust and Tetris and stuff like that.
those were of the devil.
Those evil
To
games that
us,
they played
my
back
mama was
then.
like, "Don't even look over there."
Yeah, now they got games where you aim for mature and
Yeah.
killing and weirdos. But
We were talking about that kind of stuff, and I remember the first computer that my friend, you'd hear the word computer, and you'd think, man, that's just, what is that, Then he brought home, he worked in the school district, and so he brought home a computer. It was huge. It was like, big old desktop thing. It was Apple's, probably worth no telling what now. But, we would get on there, and it was so cool, but goodness, now everything's out here. But the phone cords, remember we were talking about that? Mama had like one that was it would probably stretch.
you could go down and check the mail and come back.
Yeah.
Phone cord in there.
Oh goodness, yeah. We loved it when you'd have to reach it or go like this and go under it. Mama was on the phone.
Well, that was whenever there was no caller ID,
Oh my goodness.
and you could do stuff with the phone. We'd call people and prank people.
Oh.
As kids, we'd order pizza for the next door neighbor, and
We weren't that bad.
we would order like 10 hamburgers and 10 fries, tell them we was going to come pick them up, stuff like that.
Oh, we were bad too. We would call and ask the grocery store if they had. Do you have olives in a jar? Yes, ma'am. Well, you better let her out, or Papa's going to get mad. Stuff like that. We would. Awful.
Patricia Howell Cassidy says a pretty room. I guess she's looking at
Oh,
the back.
thank you.
But we'd do that, and then like my dad had worked at the window company. He had a company truck, and we would ride in the back of the truck to places. Like
Yeah.
now, you get in trouble for that. I would ride an hour. I'd lay back there, take a nap.
We went on vacation.
Yeah.
We live in the North Texas, and we went all the way to San Antonio on vacation one year. Threw a mattress back there. Mom and Daddy did. We all took turns riding back there. Oh my goodness.
Blessed Life of Laura says, I was just thinking about the cords that you could string all the way to the bedroom. Yep.
One room to the other. Oh, and when the cordless phones came out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
The
my
antenna, you
word.
pull the antenna up.
You pull that antenna up. Oh, goodness. We thought we were uptown having that cord. I think we got one for a wedding present from my brother. A cordless phone.
We did.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then the mobile phones came along,
Yeah,
and it was the phone in the bag.
in the bag. Yeah,
The Motorola bag. That was the first.
about this big.
The numbers, you would pick it up, and the numbers you would dial would be on the back side, and you type it in.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I thought it was so cool to be able to talk on those whenever I was a
In
kid.
the car. Well, you could only talk free, I think, like after 8. Before then, it would charge you. But I think it was like after 8, then Daddy said that I would be able to talk on it. But before then, that was just for emergency.
Megan says Woolley says she has an extremely vague memories of a huge backpack cell phone. She is just a mere pup compared to us.
her mom and dad might have kept something for a long
They
time.
may have had a phone in the bag too, like we did.
Yeah, because she's our Soaks age, but goodness gracious, yeah. Actually, I have a picture of you calling the man that married us. You're outside in the truck on one of them kind of phones.
Right.
And that was about 30 years ago.
Then my parents they finally broke down, and we got like we called it a monitor,
Oh yeah, it wasn't a TV because we don't have TV.
We still don't. But
Yeah.
anyways, we got a Nintendo. I think it was Nintendo or Super Nintendo. We played the mind building games of like Super Mario Brothers, Duck Hunt, MLB baseball, stuff like that. And
Oh yeah.
Megan says we're always 20 years behind in technology.
Yeah, we are, and that's what. And remember the typewriters. When my aunt she was going to school to be a paralegal. This was in the 80s, and she had to get so many words a minute. And she bought her this typewriter, huge thing, and we thought it was so great because it was electric instead of just the old manual one. And that thing is huge and heavy. You're okay.
Penelope
Penelope?
Bacon says she was thrilled with her first private line. They had a party line all my childhood.
Oh, wow.
So I guess your neighbor was on the phone. If you had to pick up,
You had to take turns.
you could hear your neighbor's conversation.
What is so interesting, Cash?
He's barking a little bit. Stop it.
Oh, goodness, yeah. And we had walkie-talkies that we thought, I guess that's still kind of popular, but back in the day, we thought that was really something. Come here, get up here to Mama.
We another thing what I got thinking about is we go out to eat all the time now.
Oh, yeah, we never
Now,
got to go out to
when
eat.
we were kids, if we were shut up, knucklehead. We were lucky that if on Sunday night after church, my parents would go to Arby's and get the 5 for $5 roast beef sandwiches, and then we would have chips and Kool-Aid. We never had Cokes neither.
No, we didn't hardly either.
We wish
the
we-
only Cokes that they had back then were, what, Dr. Pepper,
Coke, Coca-Cola.
Tab. Remember that one called Tab?
Yeah, my aunt used to drink. My dad's aunt used to
And
drink that.
Pepsi, of course. They didn't, and root beer, but they didn't have like all these other. You just had. Oh, we had RC.
Crown Cola.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I still like that at times.
Do they still make it?
You know, then we would, as kids, you know, there was a bunch of us in our family, and we would go to, on Sundays sometimes, if we didn't go Sunday night, we never went twice in one day. Heaven help us. We wasn't rich,
No.
but
We only went on Friday night. Always drank water.
Oh.
Mama would say.
don't even think about ordering a Coke.
She'd go. Everybody's getting water. Everybody's getting water. I still get water.
But on some Sunday morning or Sunday after church, we would go to the prime Mexican food restaurant
Oh.
of Poncho's. Son.
People up north might not know
Oh, my
what
word.
this is, or people overseas, but it's like the worst
They,
all you can eat Mexican food place.
No, well, back then we
Oh, we thought it was
I
wonderful
thought it was
back
great
then.
back then, and the deal with that is they had a flag on the table that had a little rope in it and had an eye at the top. It was like a Mexican flag, and you would raise it, and the people.
When you wanted something. Yeah.
I'm telling them.
Okay.
And you would raise a flag, and my dad told me when we was kids, don't raise that flag, whatever you do, because that lady will come over and want to dance with you. He would tell me mean stuff like that. So, Midwest girl said she would drink RC Cola,
Yeah.
and Blessed Life of Laurel said we always had Shasta Pop.
I do remember that one. But we didn't get very much. We had Kool-Aid, and actually we didn't even have the Kool-Aid brand.
Wait, do you remember Crystal Light? That's what we used to
Yeah,
drink. It was
that's
in the
still
little.
around.
It's in the little tub. You just dumped it. And we
Mhm.
thought it was so great because you didn't have to add sugar or nothing. You just add water. We got the lemonade.
Yeah, well, we had something called, we had a little boy and a little girl on the front. Flavor Aid. It was called Flavor Aid.
We probably couldn't
It-
ever afford it.
Oh no, it was like Kool-Aid back then was 10 cents, I think. It'd be like 10 for $1. Flavor Aid was 5 cents. It was cheaper, so Mama got it.
Well, Blessed Life of Laura says, yes, Ponchos. We talked about that the other day, lifting the flag. That place right now, we went about, I don't know how many years ago.
It's been a while.
Oh my word. I thought I was going to have to go to the doctor and get like my stomach pumped. It was so bad.
How many are on here?
Looks like 12.
Well, I don't know if one of our faithful ones is Lucretia Hunt. I'm gonna tell on you, okay?
What?
She
Don't tell me she likes that
she
place.
she loved ponchos, and so that they evangelize on the side. Well, they had come down to the church, and she had told our pastor, "I want to go to ponchos. I haven't had ponchos in years." So they took them to ponchos. Oh, they were about dying. I think she was the only one in the whole family that thought it was good.
Megan says that she always went to ponchos too with her family, and she always remembers thinking the high chairs were the coolest because the trays flipped behind the seat instead of coming off.
Yes.
Uh,
So did McDonald's. McDonald's used to do that, and their McDonald's had the pictures like burnt on the
while we're
on there.
talking, if y'all think of a restaurant or something funny that y'all used
back
to
in the
do,
day toys.
send us a message and we'll talk about it. See if we did it. But
Yeah, I think it's fun.
Penelope Bacon says the first time she ever ate out, she was a senior in high school,
Oh
and I
wow.
went to McDonald's with some friends and never went to a sit-down restaurant until she was married.
That sounds like your mother. Your mom told me the other day that she was married and had 2 or 3 kids before she even stayed in a motel.
Really?
I don't hotel in one of them.
Holly Lewis says she loves watching. How are you, Holly?
Thank you, Holly.
What was that? What else was I thinking? Oh, like back then too. Do you remember like McDonald's instead of the? I'm trying to remember. The hamburgers would come in those like styrofoam deals. They wasn't in like boxes like you see now. Oh, here's another funny thing. We died laughing. My dad, he's hilarious. I wish he was on here because I could get him to tell some stuff. But when we were kids, oh, I know what we talked about. First of all, we'll get this going in this way. We didn't have bottled water
No.
when we were kids. That's wasted. We drank out of the water hose, bro. Until we just turned the water on until
Until it got cool.
Until the water got cold, and we stuck it right up there. It didn't matter what they'd been using that water hose before, for whatever.
Oh.
And we rode our bikes everywhere.
Yeah, played in the mud, made mud pies,
Matter of fact,
played hide and go seek every night.
oh yeah, and we catch fireflies in jars. But you know, now everybody's paranoid about like mosquitoes and bugs and everything else. When we were kids in the city, I'd say this would be about 1980 to 83, 84. They had a truck that would come around and it had a machine in the back. And it sprayed this fine mist of like bug spray for mosquitoes and stuff. Me and my friends and my brothers, we'd get on our bikes and like ride through that stuff.
Like a cloud.
Just like a cloud. We was having a blast, man. And we're not even crazy nowadays.
So if you come up with cancer in a few years, we'll know why. And see, that was back when they used to still sell diazinon. They don't sell diazinon anymore. They outlawed it several years ago. But I don't know why, but we got fleas in our house. We had animals. We lived in the country. We had all kinds of animals on the farm growing up. We were poor, but we didn't know it. And Mama would get that, it come in like a bag, like granules. And she would put it in a spray bottle, put a little bit, and then fill the rest of it up with water and dissolve it. And she'd go around spraying the carpet, and we'd just run around on the wet carpet. We have immunity like crazy.
Kathy says those were the good old days.
Yeah.
And Matt says the bug truck, so he must have known
He
that
remembered.
too. And if you remember too, back in the day, I don't know if y'all remember, maybe it's just our house, but we, of course, we wasn't rich by any means, but we would have like hamburger helper, and we'd have like the lasagna, and then there was the world famous beef stroganoff.
We never ate hamburger.
Never?
We never had
No, and then
hamburger helper.
we would have like sweet rice sometimes in the morning where Mom would make
Now
rice.
we would do that and put sugar and butter in it.
Yeah. Those are the days.
And you know, we never bought a lot of cereal because cereal's too much. You know, we had.
Oh man.
Mama would only buy like the corn flakes that had like a rooster thing on it on the front of it, and
Yeah, but
frosted flakes.
if you ain't never woke up before school and got in a fight over your brothers with your brothers because you want the box, because you want the toy that's in the cereal
Now,
box.
yeah, I do remember that.
And
We would get a toy, yeah. And the Cracker Jack always had a good little something, not
Hey.
just a tattoo.
And when we were kids, we'd tear up some sloppy joes, extra sloppy.
We did have with sandwich.
Yeah, we had
sandwich
sloppy
in our
joes.
family. Oh
We-
goodness.
We would eat
Fried
that stuff.
potatoes and onions.
We never really did that much. Sunday was an awesome day because Mom would usually they'd splurge and buy a roast, and we'd all chow down for Sunday. Patriot One says I miss my old America. Amen, brother.
I do too.
I know we're not that old, but I don't know if we'll ever get it turned around.
We didn't have a TV growing up. We still don't have a TV, but we'd go over to my grandma's house or grandpa's house, and they did, and they would have like the Dukes of Hazzards on,
Yes.
and all the old westerns.
Y'all remember the lunch boxes we used to take to school? They were
Metal.
and they had the thermos inside, and Mom would fill it up with Kool-Aid, if we were lucky enough to have school lunches.
Yeah, we always had to take our lunch.
Yeah, every once in a while they'd give us like 75 cents or whatever it was. And we always we would get a menu when we was in school
Yeah.
of and we always wanted to eat at the cafeteria on pizza day. That pizza wasn't nothing but
Oh, no.
a slab of bread
This big too.
with like 2 teaspoons of tomato sauce and cheese, and then we thought
That's
it was
it.
like, oh
You'd
man.
have a tray that had like spots in it, and a spot for your meal, a spot for this, a spot for that.
And we always thought the kids were like spoilt that could eat. Some of them would come in the mornings and eat breakfast in there
Yeah.
and eat lunch. I'm like, man, they must be rich.
Yeah, we never got to. Mama would let us eat in the school, which I was homeschooled after 4th grade. We went through a program, and in Chicago, Illinois, called Christian Liberty Academy. But till 4th grade, I went to public school, and they would have these kids to come in, and they would pay for the whole week. It was probably $5 and something. But school back then, to eat for school was if you took $1 to school. The school lunch was 85 cents, and then in the evening there was a little break right before it was time to dismiss. And the extra 15 cents that you had left over, that would buy you an ice cream. And it was the kind of ice cream that it was like round, and you would pull the
It had a
little
stem
thing.
and you pushed it up.
No, that too, the orange ones, the push-ups. But this was just a little tub of ice cream, and
Had
you
the little
pull,
wooden spoon in
Yes.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, the vanilla.
Okay, Megan says they had hamburger helper slapped on top of a slice of bread. I remember as a kid my dad would make toast a piece of bread, and then he would pour like his chunky beef stew on top of the bread and eat like that. I guess we didn't have crackers.
We would have something called we would eat something like that too, and
Soup burgers.
soup burgers, but it was like a pita pocket, and we would pour it in there and eat it kind of like that. It was kind of different.
Okay, Midwest girl said they ate ketchup sandwiches.
Oh wow!
Is that just ketchup only? No, nothing on it?
I have not heard of that, but my daddy would eat onion sandwiches.
With mayonnaise, right?
Yes, he would put white bread because he always liked white bread.
Son.
He would put white bread, Miracle Whip. He did not like mayonnaise.
Holly-
Miracle Whip, onion, salt, and pepper.
Holly says Sloppy Joe's was once a week for me and my family. See, our thing was Thursday night at our house was taco salad night, and I'd still do it today if she would. But see, she eats it weird. She eats it with queso and pours it on top. We always put Catalina or hot sauce and Catalina.
We never had
But Catalina
Catalina
was
in our house. We
Yeah.
had Velveeta and Rotel. That's what we put on top of ours.
okay.
Back then they didn't have ranch either. There was no ranch. They had something called 7 C's. And
that was
Nanny,
that was almost like Italian. It was like a
no, Nanny would buy a white one.
It
and
was
I
in a
would-
weird bottle that was kind of
It was like
it
skinny.
went up and then
Yeah.
yeah.
It was called 7C something, and I would go over there and I'd think, man, this is so good. And I'd put it on something, but that was as close to ranch as you could get. But then I guess we were probably teenagers when ranch became in, and people put it on their pizza, they
See,
put it on everything, and now.
If it was white, I just didn't dig it much. Okay. Penelope says, I'm probably your parents' age. I'm 76, and boy, I could tell you some funny stories about backwoods of North Carolina mountain girl.
Oh, I bet,
It'd be
man.
funny. Kathy Cranston's Dixie cups. Oh yeah, we had the little dispenser
In our bathroom.
in the bathroom, and we always had the paper ones.
Yeah.
And
Waxy.
that.
They were real
No.
waxy.
No, ours would just collapse. They were like almost like a drinking cup that you get at
Yeah.
like a bottle, have the big bottle of water. You just pull it and dispose of it. Anyways, Dad always had those there for our
Brushing
brush
your
your teeth in the morning, because that was like rule number one. When you got out of bed, Dad said the first thing you got to do is brush your teeth,
Go to the bathroom and brush
comb
your
your
teeth.
hair, wash your face. Dad would tell us you would sleep with all night long and you got bad breath. Nobody wants to smell it.
Yeah.
So we would do that, and Dad would use. Think about the
Oh my.
hair products.
Brute.
Dad would use a deal called Vitalis. It was like a gold-looking liquid, and you would rub it on your hands and rub it through your hair. That was like the gel of the days, I guess, or whatever. But
Dippity doo. I had natural curly hair, still do, and they didn't have mousse and gel in it. They had dippity doo. So I remember dippity doo, and Mama would roll my hair on these big old huge brush rollers, and to get some of the frizz out. We did that every Saturday, and did it Saturday morning, and you just run around like that all day until Sunday morning when you went to church.
okay,
But Brute, Daddy always used Brute.
Brute 33.
And then there was something else that come like in a little short deal, and it was blue. It was aftershave. It was an aqua.
Aqua Velva,
Uh-huh.
and then you always had Old Spice.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Debbie says, Penelope, you should tell us some of those things. She says she remembers those days. She never had pizza till she was married and never knew of a pizza place till married. Never had Chinese till I was in my 30s, and she's from Texas.
Wow. You know, I don't think I had Chinese until I was probably late teenagers.
I never liked the taste of it. I do now, but then it was just, well, I take that back. Mom would make, what is the one of the main staples of, is it chopped? It's basically just beef and like bell pepper and whatever. What's the dish called?
Teriyaki steak?
Like, anyways, it would come in a, you would buy it in the, the aisle where all the stuff's at for different nationalities or whatever. But it was called chow mein, and they had these little noodles that come in a round deal you'd pull off, and Mom would make rice. We'd put that on there, and then sprinkle those things on the top. They're little crunchies.
Yeah, I know what they are,
they're
but we
real
never
thin.
had that as a kid.
We ate that, and I can't remember, it's right on the tip of my tongue what it was called, but Mom would make it.
You know, the only pizza joints back there, now we have all these pizza joints, but back then we had Pizza Hut,
Pizza Inn.
and then if you went to Oklahoma, they had Crystals.
They had one in downtown Fort Worth. We used to go there.
We didn't go there, but we'd go to Crystals, and they had everything.
I'll never forget going there as a kid. It was a huge building,
Yes.
and they had
Games.
multiple video games in there, skee ball, video, and they had a guy in there when you got your pizza to go and eat. You'd go sit down, and they had a big grand piano in there. He would sit there and play music while you ate. It was like high cotton.
Oh man. Oh, it's probably considered expensive.
Oh, and something else I always looked forward to. My dad was a Royal Ranger leader back in the day, and the pastor of the church we went to, once a year, he would take all of the people that were on the staff, like Sunday school teachers, deacons, song leaders, all those people that did a job for this church all year long. We went to the Colonial House cafeteria, and the church paid for the families and the person to go. I bet that bill for the whole church was probably about $200. We spent more than that, going down the road nowadays. But we thought it was so awesome. They just had all these different stands. It was like a premature Golden Corral. You could just go get pie from here, go get whatever.
We had White's Cafeteria.
This was the Colonial cafeteria. It was down there by the zoo. I never forget, down by the Fort Worth Zoo. So.
That's somewhere that Mom and Daddy would always take us, was the zoo.
Okay, Midwest Girl says they got that good government cheese and went from ketchup sandwiches to grilled cheese.
Oh wow, that's moving on up.
Debbie says that they ate butter sandwiches. We had grilled cheeses, I guess, but
So onion sandwiches, tomato sandwiches,
and
ketchup sandwiches. Well, I mean, you're talking.
Dippity Doo and pink sponge rollers.
Yep,
And
that's
bobby
it.
pin curls. Chop suey, that might be. I think it was pepper steak. I think that's what they called it. Pepper steak. It was that.
In a can?
No, well the stuff came in there, but you would cut up some meat and put like onions and
I know
bell
what it is
pepper.
now, but I didn't.
That's what we call it, pepper steak. That's right. Midwest girl says she remembers the pin curls. My aunts did that, and those were the days. We appreciated the little things. Yeah, that's what I tell my kids. They're spoiled rotten brats because we go to church. We ride in a car. Oh, let's talk about the cars.
Oh, let's talk about the big cars.
Okay, I mean these cars right here. You could sail the ocean in these things that we used to ride in, and air conditioning was unheard of when we first got.
Yeah.
When I first back thinking, and my parents bought this Ford LTD from a guy that worked at my dad's job, and his wife. I'll never forget them. Man, this car's been taken well care of. She's a school teacher, and hardly any miles. You know, this typical salesman just drove from school to home.
Yeah, your store.
4-door LTD, gold, ugly as sin, and cloth seats, and we had
velvet probably.
We had air conditioning, and that's another thing. Talking about seat belts, they had these armrests in the middle that would fold down.
Yeah.
We'd sit there on top of that armrest and just watch. Just we would head straight
And
through that windshield.
And if we did have the seatbelt out, because but those back seats they would pull out. You could almost like pull. Or the car we had, you could pull that seat out, and there was always money or something. We always thought we was going to find treasure down in there. But the seat belts were metal that clasped, and you talk about if you had your skirt was pulled up or something, or my cousins, they wore shorts. Burn your leg, that would.
See, I told our kids
hot.
nowadays, they're riding in a car out. We have a car now. They're riding in a leather seats. Leather was unheard of.
No, oh no.
Air conditioned, heated seats.
Even the people we thought had money didn't have.
No.
They might have the velvet-like seats, but.
No, they had leather on, yes. And then
no.
electric windows, bro.
Oh, we was
And-
12 years old when
And
my
a
grandpa got
sunroof
that.
was like a millionaire.
Yeah, I don't remember
Or
that.
a T-top, the deal, the glass that used to come out on both sides.
Mhm.
That was high cotton. Our neighbor had a Trans Am that did that, and I mean, I'll never forget. My parents, bless their heart, they probably didn't want to take us all to school, so we would take turns taking them. And if they only knew, but his name was Steve Stearman. I'll never forget. He would take us to school, and he wanted to be cool, so he had a sister who was close to my age. He had to drop us off at the elementary. He went to the high school. He'd be playing the most loud rock and roll. I don't even remember what it was, but he'd make us get down in the car and hide, so when he pulled down through the drag of the
So
school,
you'd look cool.
that he would be looking cool and wouldn't see that he had his little sister and neighbor kid with him.
That's when there was hubcaps on whoops.
But the kids now,
We don't
my
have
kids
hubcaps
nowadays,
now.
we go. They got their own cell phone. They have access to internet.
Yep.
I remember when the internet came in.
Oh man.
It was dial-up.
Oh yeah. You'd have to get off the internet to answer a phone call if you got a call.
And then if somebody else got on there with
Oh,
you, it would
man.
just slow it down.
You get mad.
So now our kids ride in style. Whenever we want to go out to eat, we just go out to eat. They have no idea of what hard life used
No,
to be.
we had to go out to eat maybe once a week if we were lucky. Drank water, had all those animals to tend to. I
Nope.
did have my own room. He didn't, but my brother did share a room. But I had my own room.
We mowed grass. We pushed the lawnmower.
We didn't even have central air.
That's another thing. My
In
grandpa.
Texas, you have to have central air. We had window units, and I thought my nanny was so rich and nice because she had central air. We would put a fan in the window at night and raise the window. But Daddy had a window unit in his bedroom, and then we had one in the living room that we turned on for company.
It would stay cool.
No, but it was like a sticky cold. It was like we'd
yeah.
make tents with fans. Remember doing that?
Yeah.
Get the chairs, and you get the big old huge sheet and you run that fan. Our kids don't do that no more.
I can't get my 20-year-old to quit playing games long enough to teach me how to play games.
He's playing now.
Playing in there right now with some of his goofy friends.
Oh,
Well, That was the good old days, and that's what everybody's saying. That was
Yeah.
the good old days. One lady says she grew up on Mazzios and Crystals.
Oh, yeah, I remember Mazio's.
The Mazzios, yeah.
I remember they had one on Denton Highway.
Yeah.
They had, that's where I first tasted ranch, was in Mazio's. And back then you'd have, you could buy a cup, and if you brought your cup back the next visit, it was free. So our youth group, we'd go out, as a youth group, and we'd have a big stack of cups that we forget for time.
Blessed Life with Laura says that they had an attic fan.
Yeah.
And what that, if I'm thinking of the same thing, my grandpa told me about, he had that too. It was a fan that was in the attic. They would raise the windows, and I guess there was a vent headed to the attic, so it'd pull air through all the house and suck it out through the house and blow it out in the attic. My grandpa told me that, my dad was telling me this the other day. This is a funny story. My dad said that my grandpa's parents, which would have been his grandparents, my great-grandparents, they had like $20 between them and the poorhouse, is how Dad put it. And his dad and his brother found that $20 bill that they had stashed somewhere and didn't know really what it was, and they tore it up.
Oh.
And he said that, he goes, we got, Dad, he said, we tore up that $20 bill, and my dad tore us up.
Yeah. Yeah, there was no timeout, man. We got whoopings.
No, we got beatings.
Oh, we'd get whoopings when we didn't.
My dad did.
We didn't have timeout.
He did timeout. He took time out to find something to beat us with. Is what he did.
We didn't have to write sentences, and we didn't get timeout. We got
we had
a
right.
whooping.
We usually got both sometimes if we was in bad trouble.
Yeah.
But he had that. My grandpa said that the first thing he would sleep out on the porch, a screened-in porch, because they didn't have no air conditioning.
That's what
he said
Nanny
he could,
did.
Said he could wake up the next morning and you could wring the sweat out of the sheets.
Ugh.
Well, he said the first thing he was going to do when he got his first check from his first job was buy him a fan. And that's what he did. He said he bought the biggest fan he could find.
I remember when my Meemaw, she had a water cooler. That's how they cooled their house. But can you imagine the humidity?
Yeah. I agree with Debbie. She says sometimes it was hard, but I wouldn't change it for the world. That's the way, that's what I'm telling you. I mean, and the work ethic then. My parents didn't just give us money. We had to earn it.
Yeah.
They didn't say, well, here's you. I don't even know if we had allowance.
We didn't.
I don't think we
We
did.
like, you do that. You do these chores because you live here.
Yeah.
And we didn't go buy no $800 dog like this runt we have right here.
And I tell you something
We
else.
had mutts. We just had regular old mutts.
Yeah, if you, well,
We had, don't say nothing controversial.
well, I'm just saying, there wasn't a chance that my parents was gonna spend $600-700 on surgery for an animal.
No, they didn't have $600 or $700.
It'd be just like Jeff Foxworthy, when you come home from school the next day.
It ran away.
Rusty ran away. That's what it would have been.
Yeah, my dad did. My cat ran away one time.
Somebody says, oh, Laura, you were air conditioned. I don't know. Maybe Debbie and Laura knows each other. Megan says her mom talks about saving Coke bottles and turning them in.
Yeah.
Debbie said they had fans. Debbie says...
I remember when ceiling fans became in. Mom and Daddy went and bought one for every room. Oh, I thought it was so lucky because we had a ceiling fan.
Debbie says Megan, she remembers when they turned them in for a penny and it went up to 3 cents, and then they were in heaven when they went to a nickel.
You know, bubble gum used to be 3 cents. When I first got my first job was at IGA Food Liner, and bubble gum was 3 cents.
And I'll tell you something else.
The kind that you would,
I see this all the time because I work in grocery stores. You always see the mom and the kid, the rebellious brat, pardon, I'm just spelling it out. And I've seen them before slap their parents and beat them and throw themselves down. If we thought about doing that, we wouldn't be able to sit down for a week. And we wouldn't even have thought of it. But if we'd tried it, we wouldn't have been able to sit for a week. And I've seen parents nowadays watch their kids sit in that buggy and slap them in the face. And then and right after that, the mom would say, well, if you're not good today, you're not getting a prize. I thought, son, the prize would be, your hide would be mine when we got home. Parents probably wouldn't even wait until we got home.
We didn't think twice about being disrespectful back then.
Yeah,
and if I got in trouble at school, I got in trouble at home. If I got on my report card, I put it on here on the commentary the other day about talking too much on the report card. That was me. I got it every time. And I would be in so much trouble because my daddy said, if you don't make straight A's or if you don't make good grades on everything, that's okay. You need to try to do better. But you don't have to be smart to have a good grade in conduct. And so if I didn't have a good grade in conduct, I'd get in trouble.
I'll tell you a funny story about my dad, and I'll never forget it, or about what happened to me. Yeah, I was the same way. If we got busted at school, man, we got torched at home and probably got grounded or whatever. And I got in trouble one day with a boy. His name was Freddie. His last name, I can't believe it slips me. Anyways, we got sent to the principal's office, and his dad was a cop. And he bowed up to the principal and said, you are not going to spank me. My dad's a police officer, and if anything ever happens that I got in trouble, you are not to spank me until he comes here or something. And he goes, well, we'll call your dad, son. I don't have a problem with calling your dad. And he looked over at me and goes, do we need to call your dad too? I said, no, we don't even need to mention this, what's about to take place here. I got my spanking. I headed right on back to the class and hoped to goodness they didn't send a note home.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. If we got trouble,
that's what happened with these.
That's what's wrong with kids nowadays.
Yeah.
Parent come up there. He probably I don't even remember what we was doing, but it's an authority problem. I don't know why we're getting onto that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
we're talking about the good old days.
Debbie says we could buy more candy, and we went up the roads looking for bottles. And people says, and if her brothers or sister did something wrong and got in trouble because we were supposed to watch them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would get in trouble too.
My mama would always say, you're going to have to be a good example for your brothers because they look up to you. So everything's always my fault. We're both the oldest. I'm the oldest of 3, and he's the oldest of 6.
And nowadays too, my parents, they could snap their finger.
Oh man.
Or whistle, and man, we knew who that was.
Dad snapped his finger clear across the church if I was whispering in church, and I could hear it.
And now we used to run loose at night, and just play.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't let my kids out now for nothing.
No. Well, Mama would let us go over to the toy department. We had Kmart. That was before Walmart become big. And we had Kmart, and she'd let us go over to the toy department or, buy the books or whatever. Now, I didn't even let my kids do that when they were little.
My grandmother used to take us to Kmart, and she would go to the cafe and have like Slurpee and nachos.
Yeah, they had the best
and
nachos.
Me and my brother would run wild through Kmart. The toys, the hunting and fishing, we would hide in clothes racks and scare people, and we'd act kind of, what do they call it now? It's not retarded, it's something else.
No, you can't say that. You have to say mentally challenged.
Or special needs.
Yeah.
It's special needs. We had a special need and we needed our butt tore up. But anyways, we would run loose through through Kmart and think nothing of it, man. And my parents would go in the store and leave us sitting in the car.
Oh yeah.
We'll just roll the windows down.
Y'all stay in the car.
Y'all don't
get out.
Yeah. And then, I hate to say it, when people would pull up next to us, me and my brother would act retarded.
Y'all
2 people,
bad.
we were bad. I have to admit it.
We weren't that bad. We got more whoopings, I guess, than y'all did.
No, we got plenty. We just didn't learn our lesson. And another thing too is me and my brothers would fight. We fought just for fun, wrestled, whatever. And my dad would ask us at night. He'd say, "All right, it's time to go to bed." He goes, "I need to spank y'all an hour later." Because as soon as the lights go out, I'd reach down and slap Jeremy, and we'd start wrestling and fighting. We'd tell him, "No, Dad, we're good. We don't need no spanking." And sure enough, about 15 minutes later, the light would flick on. And then when we get spankings, I'd laugh at my brother while he was getting his tail tore up, and then he'd laugh at me. Jeremy, you would run from Dad. You know, Dad have to catch it. I'd just stand there and take it. But
Oh, goodness.
uh,
You remember another thing I remembered about going back to the car thing? Do you remember it was like a brown and it would, a little thing, and it would clip on the window, and that's where you could put your drink.
Your cup holder, yeah.
Yeah,
Plastic deal.
yeah.
You'd have to have your window down in order. Well, I guess if you
No, it
shove
went
it
in
down,
between
yeah.
the glass and the door. But, you know, we didn't have cup holders like every car has cup holders now, but it didn't have, we'd have those little clip things.
Megan says my dad would clear his throat in church.
So if we hear him clearing his throat now, Megan, we may know you're up to something.
Megan says that she told her mom the other day that you remind her of Lori Brown, and she just now figured out that y'all related.
Oh, yeah.
She thinks it's where Christopher gets it.
Being ornery.
He's an angel, Megan, just like you are.
He's being like, he takes over after that side of the family.
Debbie says, I think it has to do with the video games and social media and the songs they listen to. I agree.
Exactly, and the movies.
Yeah.
The movies nowadays are not good. Which we didn't watch movies when we were little, but
Yeah.
nowadays they're just awful.
I mean, think about what they used to
We
watch.
read books.
Yeah. I would get like
Man,
7. We would ride our bikes, or if we wanted to go somewhere, sometimes if we want to ride our bikes a long distance, my mom would follow us in the car so we could ride a long ways in town. But we would ride up to like the library, and we would get like
Check out as many as they let you.
Yeah.
Is what they do.
6 or 7 books.
Yep.
We'd sit there at night with the light on in our bed, lay there.
We
drink
had a
glass
book
of
light.
tea,
Did you have a book light that you could clip onto your book?
No, we wasn't that rich.
Oh, those weren't nothing. But yeah, we all had a library card.
That was the good old days.
It was. I still like to read, and I still like to go to the library.
Matter of fact, oh boy,
How
I'm not
many-
even going to read that comment.
How many do we got going?
As a matter of fact, since it's been snowing, I've been reading this.
How many we got on here?
It was up to 19. There's 12 now.
12. Oh, good. Y'all enjoying this? Tell us some things, some food or old cars or games y'all would play. I remember my mom and dad, we grew up playing games, and we'd always go to Nanny and Papa's, or they'd come down to our house or whatever, and we would play games like aggravation, Pit. Oh, Pit was a big game that we used to play. We'd play Clue, Monopoly, of course. Did I say aggravation?
Me and my brothers played aggravation, but we didn't have the game.
We played games. And as kids, of course, we had like Pollyanna. We had checkers, the Chinese checkers. We had Mousetrap. We had the Cootie game. Remember when my cousins first got the Potato Head game? We thought that was so cool when that first came out. I was probably about 7 or 8 years old. Legos.
Velma
We
Joyner.
had Tinker Toys. You ever remember those things?
Lincoln Logs.
And Tinker Toys.
Man, you step on those things, you'd be crippled in the night. Velma Joyner says catching lightning bugs in jars in the summertime. I remember
Yeah,
that too.
sure did. And you know, we would put on mosquito spray, but we didn't just like think that we were going to die if we didn't. We played outside every night, and Mama didn't always have mosquito spray.
We come in and drink Kool-Aid or drink out of the water hose. And
Yeah, you have a little red mustache all the time, living
Yeah.
on Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Kool-Aid and peanut butter and syrup sandwiches, or peanut butter and honey. We had that a lot. And when we would go to the zoo, Mama, going to the zoo was like a big thing for us. I don't know why, but we would pack a picnic. Like, we didn't buy stuff there. I guess they probably sold stuff, but we
Debbie?
would have a picnic.
Debbie says her little brother stole from the house money. He bought ice cream every day at school and gave us money. We all got in trouble for it because we should have known where he was getting the money.
Oh,
Oh,
my
my
goodness. I bet
Remember-
that was a fun
I
thing.
remember as a kid, I stole a piece of gum. It was double bubble. It was like 3 cents. It was at Skaggs Alpha Beta over off Pipeline and 820. I'll never forget it. When we got home, we were unloading the groceries. Thursday was grocery day. And that was because probably, you're going to laugh at this.
Double coupon day.
No, let me finish.
What?
It's because Mom could write a check for the groceries on Thursday and Dad got paid on Friday. I'm just laughing.
But they did have double coupon day on Thursdays.
Yeah, they probably did. But Dad,
My mama coupon.
Mom says, "Where'd you get that gum at?" Oh, I had it. No, you didn't. Where'd you get that gum at? You stole it. Oh, they're probably going to take you to jail. Is what they told me. She says, when we go back next week, you're going to have to take the 3 cents and pay for that gum, and tell them you're sorry, and just hope they didn't take you to jail. Man, I was sick for a week, man. I had to go pay for that gum. I just sat there and cried the whole time to that lady and gave her 3 cents. I said, I'm sorry, I stole this gum. That ruined me, man. I never did that again.
That happened to me too. I had gotten, I didn't steal the whole deal of Tic Tacs, but I opened the Tic Tacs in the store, got some out, put it back, got them, and Mama's noticed
Okay,
it. And I had to go back too.
Midwest Girl says, games we played were sorry. That was a sorry game, wasn't it? Don't break the ice.
Yeah.
Operation.
Oh yeah.
Y'all just played that.
I just pulled that out the other night.
Him and her, and Don't Spill the Beans.
Yeah.
And Battleship.
Oh, Battleship.
Yeah.
Battleship was good, yeah.
Blessed Life with Laura said they played Skip Bow,
Mm-hmm.
Clue, Sorry, and Dominoes.
Dominoes. My dad could play dominoes. They didn't play like the chicken foot and all the stuff that the people play nowadays with dominoes. They played I guess it's just regular 42. And I remember them saying something about moon.
That's called moon. Is 42.
Yeah.
Double six is a regular, and 42 or moon.
We always ask, can we play? No, this is for the big people. We can't play this one.
Yeah.
They were serious about it.
And that's another thing that is my parents. They had like built-in dishwashers.
We had one that rolled around in the kitchen.
It was me.
Oh, yeah.
And whenever my parents, we'd have company, and I never would forget it. We'd have company, and they'd have a couple kids. I was the oldest. I'd help Mom cook. I'd help set the table. And then they would all eat this meal that my parents prepared, or Mom had prepared. And then the wife of the people that was visiting would say, well, Sandy, let me help you with them dishes. And she said, oh, no. Let's go in the living room and enjoy it. Our Chris will get those dishes. Don't worry about that.
Exactly. That happened to me too.
Man, I was ready. I could have.
Because I was thinking, if they helped me, it would be
exactly.
But yeah, but when we got the roll around dishwasher that you'd have to have a hose and connect it to the sink, the faucet.
We didn't have a dishwasher until we moved to Azle.
Oh,
One time we were in Fort Worth. We had.
I think we got a dishwasher when I was about 10.
And when we moved to Azle and got that double wide that had been repoed from somebody, then they put it back together and we fixed it all up. I mean, it was nice inside. It was like new. I guess somebody bought it and couldn't pay for it. And it had a dishwasher in it, and we were in such high cotton, man. I mean, and do you remember the very first, you probably didn't mow grass because you're spoiled rotten like most girls, but us guys had a push mow. I'll never forget the first riding lawnmower we got. Oh, I would volunteer to mow everybody's
I had
yard.
brothers, and so that was their chore. My chore was the dishes, their chore was the yard. But I remember another thing that we got as a treat I think they're called Mr. Bubble. It was bubble bath, but it was flakes.
It smelled like gum.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And it come in a box.
Yeah, like borax or something.
Yeah, and she would sprinkle that in her.
Debbie said they played Monopoly, Battle, and in the summer it was hide and seek all night. It seemed like
every night we played it. We lived in the country, but we had a addition in that country. I grew up on 22 acres, and then my grandparents had 30-some acres, like next to us. So together we had like 50 acres. But different people in the community, we'd all get together every night, and we would play hide and go seek every night. Every night.
Megan says she played Memory, Sorry, and Hi Ho Cheerio.
I remember seeing that, but I've never played it. Yeah.
Well, that was it's like a trip down memory lane. I remember as a kid, whenever I was a kid, for Christmas one year, my parents bought me
Keep talking. I'm gonna go get a dish towel. We're gonna do a giveaway.
Miss Pac-Man video arcade game. And we thought it was so cool because you could play as much as you want and you didn't have to put a quarter in it. You just played it. I got Miss Pac-Man and my brother got, I think it was Galactica or something like that. I'm not sure. But my parents, I guess, splurged. Maybe they probably blew their whole Christmas bonus on us, knowing them. But anyway, I still don't really like to play games that much.
Oh, I love them, and we've been playing a lot of them.
I'm talking about video games here.
Oh no,
So
Caleb loves them. Grandkids will probably love them. That's just their.
I still
remember.
think we're better off without all that junk.
I do too. Yep.
And work, man, you can't get people now that want to work about 6 hours a day. Man, we work. I'd go with my dad and work from daylight till the floodlights. Put floodlights out at work. But
We're gonna give away a dish towel. These are a tea towel. It has boots and bonnets on it there on the bottom. This is our little logo. We're gonna give that away in a couple of minutes. I also have t-shirts if you don't win tonight, or if you want to buy one of these. These are $15, and that includes shipping. I also have t-shirts. If you're interested in a t-shirt, I have t-shirts that are $25, and they are also shipped. And I have small to extra. I might have a 2X. I'm not sure on that. So get with me before that, but we'll give this away in a couple minutes.
pretty much done.
You can't think of nothing else to say?
That's all we had. We wasn't rich like y'all.
No, we weren't rich. We were not rich, but we were poor, but we didn't know it. But we
always had plenty.
we
to
always
eat.
had plenty to eat.
Our
Yeah.
house was always clean.
Daddy always made sure we went on a family vacation every year.
We always had good clothes, decent clothes, new,
Clean.
shoes was clean.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, anyway, I hope y'all have enjoyed our little deal. Let's ask them a question. Let's see. What did Chris cook me for breakfast? What did he cook this morning? If you watched on the community tab, you've seen where he cooked breakfast. And whoever answers that first correctly, we'll send this to them for a prize.
Matt says biscuits and gravy.
There you go, Matt. Do you already have one, Matt? I know you won something. You might have won bluebonnet seeds.
Debbie says that Mama just hollered and they lived in the woods.
Yeah.
We would build ramps too with our bikes.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
That's another thing we need to talk about is the ramps. Those ramps could kill a normal human that we would build with sticks and dirt and not really a long enough piece of plywood to jump, and we would do it anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
They would get me. I was a girl with all boy cousins.
Okay, Matt says no, he got the blue bonnet seeds.
Good. All right. So, you can private message me your deal, and I'll send you this dish towel.
Megan
Congratulations.
answered. Megan answered, but she was just a tad late.
Tad late. Sorry, Megan. So, well, guys, we've enjoyed talking with y'all tonight. We thought it would just be fun to hop on here and just talk about the old days. We didn't really talk about toys that we had, but maybe we'll do this again another day. All right. Well, we'll see y'all next time.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Until then, keep looking to the east. Bye.